Welcome to Career Bits, the podcast of the University Career Center at UNC Charlotte. I'm Jay, and I'm very excited today to have on as a special guest Dr. Jill Huerta, the Executive Director for the Center for Graduate Life here at UNC Charlotte. Jill, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Jay.
Absolutely. I've had the chance to get to work with you over the last couple of years now, and I'm really excited to highlight the work of the Center for Graduate Life, or as we call it, the CGL, and some of the cool things that you're doing, and specifically talk about the Accelerate to Industry program that you and I partnered on. But before we get to that, let's back up and just start with, tell us a little bit about what the Center for Graduate Life is and how that works as a part of the graduate school experience here at UNC Charlotte.
Sure. So the Center for Graduate Life oversees professional development, wellness, and community building for all 6,000 or so grad students that we have on campus across more than 150 programs. In terms of how we integrate with the graduate school, we are part of the graduate school, and I think we often think of ourselves as the student affairs arm of the graduate school. There are lots of student affairs offices across campus, and they tailor content to both undergraduates and graduates, but because there's so many more undergrads than grads, it's hard for them to really hone in on what graduate students need and to tailor their programming to deliver it. So because of that, we are somewhat one-stop shopping for everything a graduate student might need that they're not likely to get in their program.
That's fantastic. And I think it's a great way to describe what it's like to be a part of the CGL. And I've had the opportunity and the pleasure to be a part of some of that presentation arm and some of those other things that you all do for the students. And it's great to see them interact. So let's start with the professional development and graduate community activities that you try to build together for the graduate students and what those things look like and the kind of variety that you provide.
Well, as you know well, Jay, we have the Career Center come in about 15 times a semester to provide workshops on all the professional development skills students might need. So things like how to write your resume or CV, how to get your LinkedIn profile looking like it needs to, and then how to use it to network and to build a network that will help you find a position and help our students be successful in their careers. How to interview effectively, how to craft a good elevator pitch, the speech that you give when you meet someone briefly and you need to describe who you are and what your interests are very quickly. So there's all of these career-centered workshops. There are also all kinds of methods of writing support that we offer, since our grad students have a lot of writing to do. And those range from support activities like structured communal writing times that we offer in our write-a-thons, or our newly branded Night Write. This is Tuesday evening, 6 to 9 or 6 to 8, excuse me. We have just put that on the books for students who work full-time and they're not able to take advantage of daytime offerings. So writing support, time management, just a whole slew of professional development offerings, which we advertise on our events calendar and in the grad student weekly e-blast that we send every Monday.
And students automatically get that e-blast, correct?
Correct. Unless they opt out of it and unsubscribe, they will get that e-blast.
Highly recommend you do not unsubscribe from those things, by the way, folks, if you're listening to them. It's to your advantage to receive that email. And, if you have to filter it and put it in the folder to come back to later, that's great. But definitely read those things. I'm a big proponent, too, of please don't delete our emails, because we run into that in the Career Center, too.
Absolutely.
Now, you all, in addition to the writing support and things like that, you also provide a good bit of instructional support and teaching opportunities through classes that you offer. So what are some of those?
We do. I'm actually probably most excited right now about some of the new courses we've been developing and that we're launching now and in the spring. So we're currently running a course called Navigating Grad School, which is tailored towards first-generation college students or first-generation graduate school students. And this class is taught by Dr. Casey Toulos, who will go over the scholarly literature on the effects of being first-generation and navigating the graduate school terrain, but also then go to providing a number of resources and tips that students wouldn't normally be familiar with. You do not need to be first generation to take it. I'd actually encourage anyone who wants to be more familiar with that experience or just get some great tips on navigating graduate school, but it's specifically tailored from that perspective. This spring, we're offering a course on grant writing. It's so new, I have to look at my cheat sheet to remember the title, but it's Grants, Find, Study, Plan, and Prepare Grant Applications. And Dr. Julie Goodliff in the graduate school, Director of Funding, will be teaching that class. And she will teach students how to mine through the Pivot database, find good opportunities, and then how to prepare stellar grant applications. I'm also particularly excited about a class called Diversity in a Global Society that Dr. Manuel Perez Quinones is going to offer. He is the graduate school's faculty fellow for diversity, and it's going to be a fascinating class that familiarizes students with the research on what diverse teams are able to accomplish, basically all the benefits of working with a diverse group of people. And it will allow students to understand that as they go out into their careers, and also to be advocates for diverse teams because they will understand all the positive outcomes that come from that.
So, Jill, these courses are things students can sign up for, or do they register for them like they would regular courses?
They register for them like they would regular courses. And these are credit bearing. Some programs will count these as electives and, others won't. But I think it's interesting to think about if you're a doctoral student, for example, who's finished with your coursework and you're funded, there is no extra tuition charge for taking these courses. And depending on how many credits you have, it may not even add to the tuition load. And I think they look very impressive on the transcript. I'd also like to mention that we offer a certificate in workplace competencies. So this is a 12 credit certificate program. It's an actual certificate that students can add to their program, and it will teach them to do basic workplace skills like communication, presentation building, negotiation, maybe design thinking, depending on which electives they choose. And that's a great decision for a doc student to be able to add an impressive credential to their transcript and resume without even undertaking any more tuition burden.
That is fantastic to know. In addition to all of this educational support and professional development, you also host hobby hours via WebEx. What's that all about?
Well, we have graduate life fellows in the CGL. These are 7 more advanced graduate students who are interested in being mentors to their peers and being leaders in the graduate community. And we know that research has shown that students who interact with graduate students outside their programs and do things that fall outside of their academic course load are more successful in graduate school statistically, more satisfied with their graduate school experience, and mentally healthier because they're doing this extracurricular interaction. So our grad life fellows are always thinking about how they can engage with the graduate community. And as you know, everything we're doing is virtual this semester, so they've had to be really creative, but hobby hour is a chance to bring your favorite hobby and do it while you chat or show people the projects you're working on and just get a little connection and a little community.
That's great. It's a great networking piece too, because a lot of people don't think about using their kind of downtime to still network and grow your contacts and to have those conversations. But it's a great time to practice that kind of stuff. And again, you can connect to people over the most mundane of things and never know that you're really making a good connection for yourself as you head into the world of work or deeper into your graduate studies as well. I do want to talk a good bit now about the Accelerate to Industry program, A2I, because that's something that I again, have been able to work with you on. And I want you to just tell folks a little bit about what Accelerate to Industry is and where it came from and how UNC Charlotte got involved.
Sure. So Accelerate to Industry is a program that at its core, it brings in industry partners in the regional area to provide professional development directly to graduate students. And these might be private companies. They could also be nonprofits or government entities that participate in this programming. And the idea is get an idea of what skills you might need directly from the people who will be hiring you one day. And while you're at it, interact with the people who might be hiring you so that they get to know you in a meaningful context. It was launched at NC State. And it was so incredibly successful. It was launched 3 or 4 years ago, and they now have companies like Google and MedFarm and Bayer and BASF and Eastman coming time and again all throughout the semester to have this kind of interaction with their students. It's led to sponsored research agreements. It's led to sponsored graduate students, and it's led to a lot of student employment with these companies. So they decided to license it and offer it out to any university who wanted to launch the program. And in fact, they received an NSF, Innovations in Graduate Education program, to roll the program out to 10 universities a year for 3 years. As you know, Jay, we are in that first cohort of year 1 of launching the program. And it's going on right now virtually in our job search strategies lecture series.
Yeah, and let's talk about that lecture series as well. Obviously, it's built around the job search and professional development, but let's talk a little bit about the different kinds of companies and folks we've had come in to speak and lead those opportunities, and then where folks can find out more about that series, and maybe if they missed a couple of them, how they can catch up.
Absolutely. So we are, we are getting through the whole 8-week lecture series. We have had companies in like Novant Health, where we had the chief of staff to the CEO and senior vice president of leadership development, Kim Henderson, come in and talk with students about the 7 ingredients to career success. We have had Equitable in to talk about lifelong adaptive leadership, something pretty important these days. We've had our executive in residence, Ivana Campbell, talk with students about researching companies and people that you're about to interact with, so that when you go in for a networking opportunity that might lead to a future position, you know what to do to be aware of all the things you should be. We also have Atrium coming in to talk about diversity and equity in the workplace. So just some really valuable lectures coming up. They are recorded, and we will be putting them on the Center for Graduate Life YouTube channel as soon as the series finishes. We'll put all of those up on our channel with permission of our presenters, and students will be able to go back and watch those and even watch them again. Some of them are pretty dense with information.
Yeah, lots of good stuff in there. You've had startups lead discussions on networking. You've got folks like Ally Bank coming in and Jill Quinn talking. And as you mentioned, Atrium Health and Equitable and a number of other organizations. London Stock Exchange Group was there. It's a great variety for anyone going into any industry, just to learn from these industry thought leaders on these different topics about the things that are going to make you successful in your job search, and focus it around specific graduate school needs and graduate student needs, because it is different. I've been on both sides of it too, even personally. It's different when you're job searching with a master's degree or a PhD than when you are with your bachelor's degree. And so I think it's great that the university is putting resources and effort into something like this. Now, going forward with HUI, what are some of the hopes and, well, not hopes and dreams, but what are some of the big plans for the program and what all we can do with it here?
Well, it'd be wonderful to have it live again one day. So that's in the future, just like all our other programming. But I think we'll continue to build on it. We are exploring an A to I leadership series for the spring semester because we had some companies who wanted to participate and we couldn't quite fit them in because we really couldn't go longer than 8 weeks in the fall. And I think next year we'll look into an industry immersion. So this would be a multi-day symposium where companies come in and do hopefully face-to-face activities with students like casing and other exercises where students get into teams and participate and do all kinds of meaningful activities to practice what they're learning. So that's on the horizon.
That's very exciting. So, and I know that that would be something we would be doing now if we were in person, but right now with the way things are, we're having to do things virtually, but I do think it's still a great alternative. And it's been something that UNC Charlotte now has largely completed, and we'll have a good bit of information on how to make even better the next time around. And I've had the opportunity to sit in on several of those Friday lectures and Q&As, and they have been anything but boring. They are awesome. I mean, the presenters are really interactive. They ask a lot of questions, and then in turn, the students get what they want most. They get Q&A session with all these people, and to be able to sit there and have an informed discussion with people from Novon or Atrium or LSCG or whatever it might be, and to get feedback from them, it just helps you build that network and build your confidence as you're talking to employers and talking about what you know how to do and presenting yourself. We spend a lot of time in the Career Center really training students on how to promote and market yourself. And some of the best way to do it is to get a lot of practice doing it. And it's hard to get practice doing that outside of programs like this. So I applaud you for your efforts, and the Center for Graduate Life for putting together something like Accelerate the Industry and making it a reality here at UNC Charlotte.
Well, and thanks so much to the Career Center and to you for collaborating with us. It's such a great relationship that you allow us to do so much in the Center for Graduate Life with graduate students.
Well, and it helps us reinforce the times that we say that we're not just the undergraduate career center. We are for graduates and alums, and everyone lifelong. I myself, even this week, put out a couple of job announcements that were folks that have a good bit of experience, and was able to do that through our databases and things that we're able to keep up with. So it's why it's important for anyone listening to this who may be an alum or is a grad student. Stay in touch, stay in the loop with the Career Center, update your email address with us when you get the chance to, because we send stuff out and we try to get it out to you. And you can also, a great way to do that is connect through our LinkedIn channels and stuff like that. Jill, thank you so much for being on Career Bits. Tell folks how they can find out more about the Center for Graduate Life and connect with you if they would like to do so.
Well, they can go to our website, gradlife.uncc.edu. To take a look at what we have to offer, or email me personally at jhuerta2@uncc.edu. I'd also just like to say that we are a place that graduate students can come with whatever challenge they have. And we pride ourselves on knowing that if we don't solve your problem, we will send you to someone who can. So thanks for all your partnership, Jay.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And again, folks, thank you for watching or listening to this program. You can follow the happenings of the Career Center at our website, career.uncc.edu, or follow us on social media at Niner Careers. Please leave a positive review for the show or share the YouTube video of it if you watched it with others, as we just continue to spread the word here with Career Bits. Talk to you again soon.